This is the first lecture on Animal Farm. Background information. Animal Farm is a book from 1945, published in 1945 by George Orwell. It is also a cartoon from 1954, which you can find in its entirety up on YouTube. It is also a theatrical play, and it is a movie from 1999, which you can find information about on Internet Movie Database. Written by George Orwell. George Orwell was born as Eric Arthur Blair in 1903. George Orwell was a pen name he adopted later in case his books should end up as total failures. He was born and raised in India. He was a lonely boy who liked to make up stories and talk with imaginary companions. As a young man, he was very concerned about the treatment of the poor members of society, and of the unfairness of society, of how the rich mistreated the poor. Orwell traveled a lot during his lifetime, his relatively short lifetime, and he has been both a policeman and a soldier. He saw the world from different perspectives and wrote several political essays and novels, also known for his novel 1984. Animal Farm tells the story of Farmer Jones's animals who rise up in rebellion and take over the farm. Tired of being exploited solely for human gain, the animals who have human characteristics such as the ability to speak vow to create a new and more just society. However, they end up replacing one tyrant with another, and hence the revolution failed. The book was published in 1945, and Orwell discovered with horror that booksellers were placing his novel on children's shelves. He began traveling from bookstore to bookstore, requesting that the book be shelved with adult works. And this dual identity as children's story and adult satire has stayed with Orwell's novel for more than 50 years. In explaining how he came to write Animal Farm, Orwell says he once saw a little boy whipping a horse. I quote, "It struck me that if only such animals became aware of their strength, we should have no power over them, and that men exploit animals in much the same way as the rich exploit the workers. Or, as we can add, as the government in a totalitarian state exploits the common people." Though the novel is subtitled A Fairy Story, it is also a satire containing a message about world politics and especially of the former Soviet Union, now Russia. Since the Bolshevik revolutions of the early 1900s, the former Soviet Union, with Stalin's socialist government, had some supporters in Britain and the United States, but Orwell was strongly against this system. In a satire, the writer attacks a serious issue by presenting it in a ridiculous way, or otherwise poking fun at it. Orwell used a satire against the Soviet socialism, which was really the opposite, a tyranny. Here are some of the important characters in the movie and book.